35 million years ago, our story begins, as a great change had begun within the world. Rays of the boiling sun began to rain down upon the overworld in frequencies not seen for eons. The Ice Age was coming to an end, and from the depths of this event emerged the new life forms that would soon inhabit this world. Biomes were rapidly changing as jungles began to sprout, their humid embrace allowing for warmer life to thrive, and grasslands, though thin and small, also began to emerge, providing sustenance to these new life forms as they transitioned from the icy era to the new warm ages. The world was chaotic like never before, as there was just so much change. But amidst this dance of creation, a silent sentinel arose, clad in armor forged by eons of adaptation. It stood, a testament to resilience. Behold, the creature of ancient lore, the embodiment of perseverance, the Armadillo. In the vast, pixelated expanse of Minecraft's ever-evolving world, a small, yet resilient species would thrive. The Armadillos. These armored wanderers traverse the land with an insatiable curiosity, their eyes gleaming with wonder at every turn. Now, they mainly sustain themselves by feasting upon the rich flora that carpeted the land. But that wasn't the only thing that these creatures consumed, as the armadillos also possessed a peculiar palate for the macabre, for whenever they had the chance, they would scavenge the remains of fallen creatures, their tiny claws desperately picking apart the flesh for additional food. But it was the rare treat of spider eyes that truly set their hearts racing with delight. Those delicious eyes were just spectacular, and whenever they could get their paws on them, it would be a celebration, as they just loved the spider eyes. But the hunting of these non-plant sustenance was a rarity for these creatures, as they only struck when the moment was right, and for the most part, they only really did consume plants, as they were just too lazy and ineffective to hunt living beings. Yet, amid their leisurely foraging and occasional indulgence, the armadillos harboured a secret passion, excavation, with an innate instinct honed by generations past. They delved into the land, carving out intricate networks of tunnels and caverns, an underground labyrinth beneath the surface. But for all their activity, the armadillos cherished their moments of rest just as enthusiastically, curling up into snug balls within their subterranean sanctuaries. They'd slumber away the hours, embracing the tranquility of their underground heavens. It was here, in the quiet embrace of the land, that they found solace and rejuvenation, spending up to 70% of their days in peaceful slumber. And sometimes, in these long peaceful hours of sleep, they would have magical dreams, such as that of you pressing the subscribe button. Yet, as time flowed within the realm of Minecraft, so did the armadillo population. What was once a scattering few within this new world became a bustling magnitude, their armoured forms dotting the landscape with increasing frequency. They became woven into the very fabric of this post-Ice Age world, their presence a testament to resilience and adaptability in the face of ever-changing terrain. But as the armadillo population flourished, so did the dangers that lurked in the shadows. From the darkened skies descended a sinister threat, the Phantoms. These monsters, born of the night's eerie embrace, swooped down upon the unsuspecting armadillos with predatory precision. The armadillos, once blissfully unaware of such airborne adversaries found themselves facing a perilous new reality. The Phantoms, with their razor-sharp talons and insatiable hunger, became a relentless menace, picking off the armadillos one by one. Swift, silent strikes. Desperate times called for desperate measures, and the armadillos knew that they had to either adapt or perish. Evolution, the timeless force of nature, became their salvation. Over generations, the armadillo shells grew thicker and more resilient, transforming into formidable barriers against the phantom onslaught. It was a harrowing trial of survival, but the armadillo's newfound defenses proved effective, and so the once vulnerable creatures now stood armored and defiant, their sturdy shells deflecting the phantom's deadly assaults. Though the occasional skirmish still ensued, the armadillos gained a fighting chance against the aerial predators. With each passing day, the armadillos honed their evolutionary advantage, their shells becoming not just means of protection, but a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. And as the sun rose and set over the pixelated landscape, the armadillos continued to roam the world, their shells gleaming to their triumph over the perils that threatened to consume them. But despite their sturdy shells and their unwavering resilience to just keep on living, the occasional success of the Phantom's attacks served as a stark reminder of the ever-present danger looming above. So driven by a primal instinct to survive, the armadillos embarked on yet another evolutionary journey. With each passing generation, they grew larger and larger and larger and larger and larger, becoming ever more imposing, towering over the lands like living fortresses. No longer were they mere prey to be plucked from the overworld, as now they stood as titans, their colossal forms casting shadows that stretched across the land. And as they grew, the armadillo's once humble shells expanded into massive defenses of impenetrable armor. The Phantoms, unable to pierce through the formidable defenses of these behemoths, found themselves thwarted at every turn. The armadillos had become invincible giants, towering over their adversaries with an air of strength and power. But size alone was not their only advantage. With their newfound stature came newfound skills. The armadillos had learned to harness their immense strength, rolling with astonishing speeds and agility, their massive shells becoming both weapon and sanctuary. When danger threatened, it would retreat into the safety of their armored fortresses, shielded from harm by layers of impenetrable plating, and thus they were almost impossible to kill, as their defenses made them almost immortal. And thus, due to their survival successes, in time, the armadillo's colossal presence became a common sight within the world. No longer were they mere survivors, they ascended the ranks to the dominant species of this world, rulers of the land by virtue of their sheer size and strength. But as millennia passed, and the world of Minecraft continued its perpetual evolution, a subtle yet significant shift would begin to unfold. The once temperate climates that had nurtured the armadillos for generations began to cool. The once lush habitats giving way to icy landscapes that stretched as far as the eye could see. For the armadillos, creatures of warmth and sun-filled plains, the increasing chill spelled disaster. As the temperatures plummeted and icy winds swept across the land, they found themselves facing yet another ultimatum: adapt or perish. Those who failed to answer the call of survival, clinging stubbornly to their dwindling territories, succumbed to the merciless embrace of the cold. Their once mighty forms falling silent beneath blankets of frost and snow. But amidst the unforgiving chill, a glimmer of hope emerged. Across the frozen wastes, whispers spread of distant heavens. Oases of warmth nestled amidst the frigid expanses. These sanctuaries were real, and they were hidden away within the heart of the savannas. So these oases beckoned to the dwindling ranks of the armadillos, promising them respite from the icy grip of winter. And so, driven by instinct and desperation, the surviving armadillos embarked on a perilous journey, braving the treacherous terrain and bitter cold in search for this sanctuary. They prayed that it was real. Now, many perished along the way, their weary forms succumbing to both exhaustion and frostbite. But for those who persevered, the promise of salvation lay just beyond the horizon. And so, as the long and strenuous trek drew to a close, those who had endured emerged into the warm embrace of the savannas, their weary hearts filled with relief and gratitude. Here, amidst the sun-drenched plains and swaying grasses, they found a new home, a heaven where life could flourish once more. Yet, even as they basked in the warmth of their newfound sanctuary, the memory of the cold remained etched into their collective consciousness. They knew that the world was ever-changing, its mysteries vast and unpredictable. And so, as they settled into their new homes, the armadillos remained ever vigilant, mindful of the lessons learned from their journey through the icy wilderness, and ready to face whatever challenges that the future might bring. In the sun-filled expanse of the savannas, the armadillos found their sanctuary, a heaven of warmth and abundance, far removed from the icy grip of their former habitats. Here, amidst the golden grasses and gently swaying acacia trees, they thrived, their armored forms standing out in this strange new biome. And so, feasting upon the bounty of this land, the armadillos reveled in the simple pleasures of their life. Their diets encompassing a wide variety of plants and even the occasional delicacy of the spider eyes. But beneath their playful exterior lay scars of the past, remnants of a time when they had been hunted mercilessly by those who sought to exploit their sturdy shells. Though the days of persecution had long since faded into memory, the armadillos still bore the scars of that trauma, and so their cautious demeanor was a lingering reminder to the trials that their ancestors had endured. And so, even with the absence of those ghostly hunters, the armadillos remained wary of fast-moving beings, a legacy of their tumultuous past. Yet, despite the shadows of the past, the armadillos embraced life with a playful temperament, their joyful antics a celebration of their newfound freedom. In the sun-drenched savannas, with each roll and tumble, they revelled in the simple joys of existence, their armoured forms gleaming in the warm embrace of the sun as they danced amidst the tall grasses, guardians of a land where life flourished in harmony with the rhythm of this world. However, as eons passed and the world of Minecraft continued to evolve, a new presence emerged from the horizon. The villagers. With their bustling settlements and industrialist ways, they brought both opportunity and peril to the creatures that roam this land. For the armadillos, This newfound interaction with the villagers proved to be a double-edged sword, as well. At first, the villagers fed them and marveled at their magnificent shells. They soon recognized their potential, and thus they were drawn to act, and so they began to hunt the large armadillos with greed burning in their eyes. They were eager to harvest their formidable armor for use in crafting their own armor, decorations, subscribe buttons, and even trophies for sport. The hunting of armadillos escalated into a frenzied pursuit, with villagers venturing far and wide in search of their prized shells. And so, armed with weapons and driven by relentless determination, they stalked the massive creatures through the savannas and beyond, careless of the toll that their actions wrought upon the once thriving population. As the years passed and the hunting pressure intensified, the larger armadillos found themselves pushed to the brink of extinction. Over-harvesting and the relentless pursuit had taken their tolls, leaving the once mighty giants a shadow of their former selves. But now, with their greed fulfilled and the lands empty, the villagers shifted their attention elsewhere. The remaining tiny little armadillos served no purpose to them. They were too small, and they just weren't worth hunting, as they were too much effort to catch for such little reward. And so, the villagers left those armadillos alone, and in fact, they left the savannas, focusing now on new inventions. All the big armadillos were dead, and so, the only remaining armadillos within the savannas were now just those who were deemed unworthy to hunt, and were generally very small. And so, in the wake of devastation brought on by villager hands, here, amidst the golden grasses and swaying acacia trees, they once again carved out a simple existence, far from the prying eyes of the hunters and the chaos of civilization. This was their home now, and there was no one here to stop them. In this idyllic heaven, the small armadillos lived out their lives in peace, their days filled with the simple joys of foraging, exploring, and basking in the warm glow of the sun. They rolled and burrowed, no longer hunted and no longer threatened. The small armadillos thrived in their home, their numbers slowly replenishing as they embraced the rhythm of life in the untamed wilderness. Now, they never evolved to grow as large as they once were, as now it was advantageous to remain small. They wouldn't be hunted if they were smaller, and the phantoms, well, they weren't particularly a threat anymore. So really, there were no reasons to be big anymore. It was worth it, being tiny. And so, the armadillos continued to thrive in that land, not hunted and not bothered by any other being. Well, for now. And so, as the sun sets over the savannah, casting a golden hue across the land, the armadillos emerge from their burrows, their armored forms a symbol of quiet strength and enduring resilience in a world ever-changing and ever-wondrous. As generations passed in tranquility, the small armadillos of the savanna biomes flourished, their peaceful existence undisturbed by the turmoil of the world beyond. But alas, this couldn't last forever, as their fragile peace was shattered once more, this time by the drums of war echoing across the land. In a clash of ideologies and ambitions, the villagers found themselves pitted against the nefarious villagers. Their once cozy settlements now overshadowed by the forces of darkness. amid the chaos of battle, some illagers, driven by greed, power, and a desire to win this war, cast their gaze upon the humble armadillos. To them, the armadillos were not merely creatures of flesh and bone, they were vessels of untapped potential, their shells coveted for their unknown magical properties. And so, the illagers began a ruthless campaign of hunting and exploitation, capturing the armadillos by the dozens to fuel their dark rituals and to forge formidable shields infused with arcane energies. They were hoping to use these creatures to win this war against the villagers, and morals or ethics weren't going to get in their way of doing that. But amid the conflict and the great collection of the armadillos, a group of vindicators were unable to turn a blind eye to the suffering inflicted upon these innocent armadillos. They didn't deserve this. None of them did. In fact, neither did the villagers. This everlasting war was just a waste. And so, horrified by the brutality of this war, they resolved to put an end to the bloodshed, to bring about an everlasting peace for all beings. Thus, embarking on a perilous quest, fraught with danger and uncertainty, the Vindicators ventured forth into the heart of darkness, their resolve unyielding and their spirits undaunting. And as they journeyed ever deeper, they uncovered truths that shook the very foundations of their world, revelations that would reshape the course of history. And so, to learn what happened next, you'll need to watch this video.